Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. I hope you've all had a phenomenal start to your Friday. A great week as a whole. Once again, we are already back at Friday. Another week in this range that seems to fly by or not, depending on your perspective, of course. But I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker, Max, Louie, and Dr. Will's Outlook. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I think we had some macro data today. Hard to even know with. It seems like we're having these basically every day at this point. Just churning up the market, and more importantly, churning up market participants. If you've been trying to trade this, I'm sure if you've been trading it profitably, fantastic. Good on you. If you have been trying to trade it unprofitably, maybe stay off the perpies for a few more weeks. But regardless, guys, we're going to give you our thoughts on the market, our thoughts on the charts, and where we think some of our favorite assets are headed here in the near and long term. But yeah, before we can do that, guys, I'm going to ask if you guys can smash that like button for us. It's Friday. Let's celebrate the weekend. Let's usher in the weekend, rather, by hitting that like button, slamming that like button. And again, like I said, whatever adjective you need to use to justify hitting the like button, I'm on board with. So if you guys could do that, we would be very appreciative. Regardless, we will cook you guys up a delicious meal. It is Friday. I'm hopeful that everybody is in a great mood, not just the panel, but of course the audience as well. But we can talk about charts on a bit more of a granular basis, right? Like I kind of said a minute ago, we probably did have macro data today. I'm kind of at the point though where I'm not really paying that much attention to it, right? Because it seems like we have this data on an almost daily basis, and we went from being in this regime where every single macro data print was irrelevant. So just one kind of snapping us awake. I think like 2 weeks ago, it was that unemployment print. And now we're once again hyper fixating on macro data. That's probably going to fall in line with expectations if I had to guess. So yeah, we are still seeing, of course, a lot of lower time frame movement, though, as a result of this data, just algos, a lack of overall market liquidity. And I think the latter is still a prevailing theme from what I can tell. And that's especially true in crypto. And in equities, I think you're seeing it manifest differently, right? In equities, you're just seeing it manifest into a massive bid higher. It's been unable to really find sellers to step in and end the squeeze. Where in crypto, it's just kind of like illiquid slop. That was the verbiage I used when I was speaking with Max and Will after Market Check yesterday. I'm a trademark that illiquid slop. That's what it feels like. If you're looking at a lower time frame, when you look at things like Bitcoin, ETH, even Solana and altcoins, man, I mean, they're just moving all over the place. It's been very difficult for them to not just kind of define the type of structures that they're in, but really build consistent and steady trends in either direction. So we are just kind of sitting at an inflection point, as we have basically all week. Are we going to continue to reclaim levels and potentially be out of this? Are we going to carve out a higher low? What does that higher low look like? Or are we going to potentially trade lower than a week ago? I'm not sure at this point, right? It's a market that kind of sits at an indecisive point. While on the flip side, like I said, you have equities just absolutely ripping. So hopefully we get some answers next week as far as these questions go. Of course, we're going to do our best to answer where we think the market is headed, like I said, in both the short and long term on today's show. But welcome, guys. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend. Maybe you have some fun plans. Asking the panel here if you guys got any fun weekend plans. But yeah, that's it for me and all my little yap to intro the show. But I'd love to hear not just your weekend plans, of course, what you guys are also seeing in the market.
Who could have foreseen?
Will.
Who could have foreseen?
Are you asking who could have foreseen the market moving sideways?
Wow.
Is that what you're asking?
Crazy.
What an epic call that the market will move sideways.
You want to know who could have foreseen Will? Hagrid could have foreseen Will.
Oh man.
I'm telling you right now, Will.
Hang on. Stop immediately. Stop immediately.
That's it.
Tommy
There you
asked us
go.
a question.
I did.
Stop immediately.
I answered.
Tommy asks you a question. And Will starts bragging about calling the market.
I
moving
didn't brag
sideways,
about
and then-
anything. I
And then,
just said who could have
Tucker
foreseen.
starts doing TA, completely ignoring Tommy. The disrespect from
He
Will. and
asked what we
Tucker.
were seeing in the markets. What do you mean?
No, he said, "What are you doing this weekend?"
Oh,
You
yeah,
both
he
just
did.
Will starts bragging about nothing.
Well,
and
I couldn't let Will get away with it. You got to stop Will before it
I
starts.
agree with
trust
that. You
me.
do have to stop
right,
Will.
all right.
That was outrageous to come in here,
right.
ignore Tommy, and brag about the market moving sideways was
Fair enough.
outrageous. But everybody needs to respect what Tommy has just asked. Let's start with it. Tucker, please kick. What are you doing this weekend?
Good Friday vibe going.
What am I doing this weekend?
Yeah.
We're getting a little date night tomorrow. We're probably gonna go out, have a nice dinner, do all that. But tonight, probably hanging out with some buddies, going to the cigar lounge, watching some sports. You know, a usual Friday night.
That's the usual.
Oh yeah, big time.
Nice.
Hanging out with the boys, smoking cigars. Yeah, that's the usual. Yeah, but little date night with the wife tomorrow for sure.
It's good.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Riveting.
Louis, what about you? What are you doing this weekend?
A whole lot of nothing.
Being a dad.
I'm on newborn duty.
Study Louis.
Yeah, we don't do a whole lot of anything anymore. Maybe we'll go to the mall.
All right.
That might be
Nice.
the big outing for the weekend.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, Will, without bragging about what you said would happen in the market, what are you doing this weekend?
You know, just watching charts. You know, nuts. No, I might grill some steaks, man. I might grill some steaks,
Oh.
steady protein. You know,
Based.
All right. Well, how are you going to cook your steaks? You seem like a medium well guy or well
medium
done.
rare,
No,
medium
well
rare,
done.
medium rare,
Okay,
medium rare.
Sorry about that. Will.
We gotta point that out. Well done. You're definitely not looking for protein. You're looking to eat a piece of rubber, but you know, to each their own.
Will, have you ever seen dynamite strapped to a hog before?
No way. No shot.
I have not visibly seen dynamite strapped to a hog.
You are missing out, man. You're
Look,
missing out.
all I'm saying is PETA might be in the comments, so you have to be careful about those type of
We're gonna get
statements.
demonetized.
They may come for you.
Could we
They
get
will.
Could we get pulled from you? We're not even monetized. Like we don't even have ads on. But do you think we could get the YouTube channel pulled for saying that we like well done steak?
It seems like something YouTube might actually support. So probably not. We might get boosted actually.
It's a very liberal thing to do. You don't want all that
Yeah.
bacteria in a rare steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's got it. Ribeye is best.
Oh.
best
Look,
cut.
Cows eat grass. There's nothing wrong with grass. It's almost impossible to get a bad piece of meat. Now, if we're talking pork, cook that thing all the way through, man. Cook it all the way through.
What's going on with this monkey pox garbage? Are
Don't
we really
worry.
taking this seriously right
I
now?
saw a
People taking this
post earlier
serious?
today, and this dude. Oh, I gotta
Do not comply, Louis. Do
I'll
not
send it to you.
comply.
I'm the last person ever going to comply. I think it's a joke, but I see.
They're
people-
always waffling about some disease, man. It's like, and who names this shit, right? They're just like, let's just pick like an intimidating animal, you know,
Bro,
like
I'm not gonna lie.
rhino virus or something. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, it's just, it's crazy, man. You know, and I'm not, no one say how you get it. I don't want to deal with that discussion right now. But you want to know how you get it?
I've heard.
You want to know how you get monkeypox?
No, I don't.
No one say it.
I don't want
Let me
to.
just,
don't
from
know.
what I know about you guys on the panel, you don't have to worry about it because you're not likely to contract monkeypox. Okay, but somehow that little detail is being left out. No one say it.
So
That's true.
99% of people can't get it. Got it.
And it's also been circulated in the media for years. It's not the
Yeah,
first.
I've heard it before.
Hyperlight said raptor
Recycled
pox.
garbage. It's recycled FUD.
It feels like the Mount Gox distribution at this point, right?
Yeah. That's real.
Monkeypox is bullish. But
No, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like China banned Bitcoin. That's what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
That's better. Yeah, that's real.
all right, I'm gonna tell you I don't really know. Wait, hang on. We have a guy in the comments called Sweaty Nachos. I thought that was Dorito for a second because like the profile picture looks kind of similar.
No, that ain't Dorito.
Not Dorito. That's Sweaty Nachos. Okay. All right. This weekend, I'm hanging out with my wife and my son, and probably getting annoyed with the market if I had to guess.
Mhm.
That's basically it.
Based.
Oh
Base.
my goodness,
Oh,
bro! What,
Go.
Tucker just moaned.
I said, oh.
dude?
What a chat.
Dude, thank you, Crypto Maxi. Like,
Wow.
dude, you are unreal.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
You just bought Will a steak right there.
Crypto Maxi, thank you so much, man. We haven't received that type of generosity in the form of super chats ever on this show. We've had little ones, which are really appreciated as well. But $200, that is, dude. Happy Friday to you, man. Thank you so
I
much.
get to eat tonight.
Wow.
I can afford to eat tonight.
I
Louis
appreciate
going
that.
straight to Costco, baby. Straight to Costco with that.
Man, thank you so much.
The difference is Louis will be buying diapers. I'll be buying steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the markets.
Well,
Tucker,
that leads me into the market, right? If people are, dishing out super chats, what are we talking about here? That's bullish, right?
that is
you know,
bullish.
The consumer is strong, clearly.
Yeah.
The consumer is strong, guys.
So let me ask you this though. All right. Yesterday, the Russell 2000 was up 3%. My question to you is, what the hell, Tucker?
This is the Russell.
Yeah.
Why do the boomers keep getting to just print money every single day, and we're stuck here trading some like illiquid beta to the Russell that just won't even act like beta? Like what the hell?
Well, you said it great the other day, right? The best alpha, guys, is to buy the election and just short it a year later, okay? And crypto gets 1 year every 4 years to go crazy. And that year doesn't really start. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the halving." No, like that year doesn't start until after the US election, right? It doesn't. So, I'm not going to do it, whatever. There, right? I'll just do it, whatever. I'll just do it. Like it doesn't go crazy. And this is what I was saying like a year ago. I was like, we're not gonna go crazy until 6 to 9 months after the halving. Now, I didn't have the election alpha, right? I wasn't saying the US presidential election is what's gonna send us, but that is what happens, right? That is what happens. So I mean, you get a year. You get a year, and that year starts after November of the halving year. Okay. So everyone's expecting it to be this year. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the halving year," whatever. It's like, no, it's next year. It's always been next year. Okay, this year was always gonna go this way, right? Garbage, 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 right? Garbage, right? So I don't know. I think being high time frame or even mid time frame bearish at this point is short sighted, guys. I think it's short sighted. I think you got
Are you eating
your
drawdown
correction.
that comes, Tucker? Any drawdown? Are you just eating that?
Am I eating drawdown? Yeah, I'm eating drawdown, of course.
So okay, let me
I'm
ask
an
you.
add-or.
One, do you think we're gonna make a new low on Bitcoin from now until that black line, which is the election? That's the first question.
No,
You don't.
No, I don't.
You think that low is in? You think the low of the pre-election chop is in?
Yeah, I really hope so, but yeah, I do.
Does it matter? Like, I
Yes,
guess
it
that's
does
the
matter.
question.
Yes,
It don't
does.
matter to me. I don't give a shit if it goes low or not.
I
It does.
mean,
It does matter to you because you hold exclusively altcoins, specifically garbage shit coins, as you call them, dumpster divers, right?
I guess, but here's the thing. If you scroll out, right, scroll back out how you were, Tucker, through all the cycles. Like, look at your exponentials from those black lines. Like, you have so much upside. Like,
yeah, in that sense, it doesn't matter. You're right.
Yeah, in the sense of what I'm looking for compared to what I'm dealing with, I'm looking for so much more upside that the downside is negligible. It's not even worth entertaining. That's why, like, I tell people, I'm like, you're getting your emotions chopped up for no reason. Like, what the potential is here. Just shut up and bid. Stop whining about it. Granted, I've been telling people, like, hey, like, again, not to come back, but hey, I told you so. But, like, we hit the resistance, we fell over. But, like, it doesn't mean I wouldn't tell somebody if they'd ask me tomorrow, should I buy crypto? I'd be like, yeah, sure. I think crypto's going to go up significantly. And I wouldn't even tell them lower levels, even if I thought there was lower levels, because I'd be like, yeah, I think you have a lot more upside than downside.
Well, and most people, if they ask you to buy crypto and you're like, yeah, buy crypto, like, if it goes, their time frames are longer than ours, right? Like, if it's like somebody who's like over 30, right? Like, if it goes down in the next month, they're gonna be like, whatever. That's of the
me.
time,
I'm over 30. Like,
which is the way that we need to think about it, right? That's the way we should be thinking about it. But because we are like, this is our job to come on here every day and look at the chart like this, right? Like, that's
why I called the rejection, because it's our job to come in and tell you guys the correct directionality of the market. But like, in the bigger term, I think this is all just shit that doesn't even matter. Like, we have so much more upside from here.
Let's just mark out like Q4. The Zoofer cycle. Yeah.
The Zoofer cycle.
I like what Tommy's been talking about on Twitter lately about, like, the extended cycle.
The super cycle, baby.
People want the quick gains. They want to get out. They want to ride off into the sunset after already grueling years of experience in the crypto market. I think Max Payne is an extended super cycle that punishes everybody chasing fast gains for years and rewards everybody with long-term conviction in the space.
So that looks like just like a slow grind up, kind of like an S&P style, just like continually going up, but it takes a long time to make those big gains.
With big corrections along the way that shake you out and question the conviction.
Mm-hmm.
Look, here's the thing. If you played the top of 2021, this is nothing. You would get 10K swings in a day. A day. They would just dump you down 10K, then run you right back up 12, then dump you down 15, then run you right back up 10 in days, guys. Like, this is nothing.
That was Sam and Caroline.
This is nothing in price action. Like, people sit here and cry, and we're playing in a range of like 3 to 5K.
Who's going to be our SBF and Sam of the next cycle?
Somebody. We always get somebody who comes in.
You already said who it's going to be. Janet Yellen.
Oh, no, she's getting arrested at the next bear market low 100%, or like charged.
Ansem, bro. It's Ansem. Jail.
Yeah.
Jail for Ansem.
It's going to be easy for them to blame it on the people who have really been manipulating the markets behind the scene. And it's definitely Janet Yellen, right? Like, I don't know. It's kind of a joke, but also not really.
No. So Freeman, to your point, I'm giving contrarian because that's what the data states. So if you refute data, then I don't know what to tell you. But the data states.
What did you do yesterday, bro?
Yeah, you refuted some data yesterday, bro.
I didn't refute anything. I pointed out the facts, and the facts played. Like I said, we're gonna hit a resistance more than likely here. Market's gonna roll, and then I'm looking for 55 to 53. We hit 56 roughly. We're very close to target pricing. Could we go deeper? Sure. But like, ultimately, I'm very bullish from here. Like, I think our downside is mute. I think it's very limited. And I think, like, if people wanted a trading analysis, that's what that was. That was a trading analysis, looking at the trade and looking at resistance and support. And from here, I think, like, you should be, this is a bid range. It's an accumulation range. This is a falling channel that's going to eventually break out, and people should be bullish. That's essentially it. That's my contrarian take, right?
I think I want to point out that I think people are ignoring the range that is arguably the single most important range on the chart. It's not the one that we're putting in up here. It's the one that we've been in since 2021, right? That 30. No, I'm not saying that this is a deviation. I'm just saying when we break out from a 30 to 60K range that we've effectively been in for 4 years, like that's going to be a massive pump that people are framing their expectations for the pump based on this range we've been in for 4 or 5 months, while neglecting we've been in a much larger range for like 4 years now. We haven't even broken out of that yet. That's when the cycle actually begins.
You're saying like from the 2021 peak?
I agree with that, Tommy. Tucker, can you draw a range from like the 64K top to like
I agree too, but like
no, that's not the range high, bro. That's not the range high.
Yeah.
That's like value area. Range high is like 64, 65.
Yeah, that's like value area. Okay.
Yeah, that's not your range.
We can
All right, what do you want?
Just drag that line up. That's fine. You can keep that. No, that's yeah, but then put a black line at the last cycle's top. Like right there, roughly. Yeah, like that's your range right there.
When you flip that into confirmed support, like that's when you're going to get your alt season. That's when you're going to see everything really pop off and send.
I don't know. I mean, this area right here needs to be studied though. Like
it's ultra demand.
This is ultra demand, guys. This is ultra demand.
I know, but you know what Tommy's saying, right? You're saying
yeah.
When you break out of a 4-year range, which confirms that it was accumulation, you know, with some volatility in between, that's when price triples, you know. That's when things go crazy.
I mean, it looks like consolidation at range highs. I mean, that's
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's extremely bullish once you get that move.
Bullshit though, it's pissing me off.
Yeah, it sucks.
Been here for too long.
We've been doing this for like 6 months now.
I'm actually astonished that we're still here. Like I can't believe it. Like we had such a quick start to the cycle. I just can't believe that we're still sitting here. Like this is 2 months past when I thought it would be. Like I knew that we had data to suggest that after Bitcoin halving, you usually get a dump, right? And then what happens leading into the election and after the election. I know all that. But what's crazy to me is that we had a quick start to the cycle and this thing has just been pinned, destroying everybody for 5 months. And now it's like perfectly aligned with the previous 2 cycles from a timing perspective. But we've basically been dragging our feet for an extra 2 months to basically sync up with the 2 previous cycles. It's wild to me. I can't believe we're still here.
Tucker, can I get the chart real quick? I've only got like a couple more minutes. I just want to run through it real quick. So again, like it's really relevant. Like we came really close. Maybe we hit, maybe we don't. Maybe we hit, maybe we don't. The point is, and that this is the point that I was pointing out for the children in the audience who like to get upset. It's not a hard concept, right? Price is doing what? Price is moving to the downside. Price is ultimately controlled, right? This is what we call controlled price action. Uncontrolled price action is something like this over here, right? This is uncontrolled price action. Why is this uncontrolled? Boom, look at that. Drop, pump, drop, pump, drop, pump. Nobody's controlling this shit. It's just puking. That's all it's doing, right? Controlled price action. Controlled for what? Which direction they moving? Up to do what? To create a downside move, right? What do they do here? Sideways to do what? Create another event. This is controlled. Controlled happens within a range. Either it happens to the upside, or it happens to the side, or it happens to the downside, right? And we're going to look at all 3 of those scenarios: side, upside, downside, right? Downside. Again, these are not difficult scenarios. You have one of these events happen, right? And then once those events happen, guess what? Nuke or up. Upside. Oh, look at that. Controlled price action. Let's come over here, right? We have a lot of upside, but what do we have? We have a down move. Controlled price action. Controlled price action to the downside equals upside. Controlled price action to the upside equals downside. Controlled price action to the upside equals downside. This isn't a hard concept. It's not a hard concept for people. This is why, like, I give my contrarian take. This is contrarian, right? This is TA 101 for the children in the audience. TA 101 is down equals up equals down. It's really that simple. We are in a downward move that's going to break out. Ultimately, we were looking for rejection in the mid-range, which we saw, right? And ultimately, we could see a move back down to the lows to fill the wick, but controlled price action should keep us relatively within this range, and then we should be looking for some kind of breakout eventually, somewhere down the road. But if you just keep your eye on the ball, which is lower lows, lower highs, structured price, you know which direction this thing is looking to move. That's it. I mean, it's not a hard concept. Will alts get obliterated in this scenario? Potentially, yes. Shitcoins will probably get obliterated. Altcoins will probably get obliterated if we see more downside. But we're looking at the bigger picture here. Bigger picture is the contrarian take, which is basically zoom out, look at your cycles, understand where you are in the cycle, understand when your bear market occurs, understand when your bull market occurs, and understand which side of the trade you're on. We still have lots of time in the bull market. We still have lots of potential for upside as far as from all previous cycles. That's good. It's a bid, right? On a bigger time frame. On a smaller scale time frame, you could have shorted the play. You could have shorted the play to kind of offset your losses here. And you could have taken this as resistance, just as it showed right here. And you could have shorted this, ran it down, exited your position anywhere near the 55K range. Really, I usually tell people 10% up from the lows, but roughly 10% up would have put you all the way up here. So you were really close, cut your position. Granted, this thing could pit roll again and kind of roll back into the range, but does it break this range? I don't know. If it does, expect 53, right? You have support, just like you bounced off of here. I think you'll bounce off of here. And if you're going to go deeper, you'll come up, you'll reject, and you'll go deeper. I think this thing is going to stair step if it's going to go down further. If it's not, it's going to come back up, recapture the range, flip this range. You're going to start moving back to the upside. And ultimately, I think if you retest this high end range multiple times, this will be a fourth. I think you'll break out.
Cook.
I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
That was a Cook session.
No, I agree. What do the likes look like? What do the likes look like on this wonderful Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to like accumulation and distribution, and a lot of people are confusing this as a distribution, but in my eyes, it's clear reaccumulation or accumulation. You have to understand when there's large entities that need to buy an asset. Like I think the last time I checked, I think the Bitcoin ETFs have brought in over $19 billion worth of inflows. Like you can't just, these big entities that want to buy billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, they can't just go, okay, here's my $1 billion market order. Let me just press the green button like us at home on Coinbase and just walk away. Like one, these guys have to break up these buys. Two, these guys are sharks and they're going to try to get the best possible price they can because that's what they do for a living, right? So if you read any textbook or any sort of market like knowledge or information on markets, as far as what I've read, when I was starting to learn about markets, stuff like that, whales have to manipulate price when they want to get an entry. And if you were to draw up like the worst case scenario for like max pain for retail investors, while at the same time whales got to accumulate billions of dollars worth of an asset, I would draw this massive bull flag that we've been printing on Bitcoin for the last 6 months. Like just pure max pain, max emotions at either side of the channel. Retail just getting chopped up to bits. Came in the beginning of the year because the ETF news, Bitcoin was in the news, all-time highs, all that stuff. And then just got put through the ringer for the past 6 months. And all that was happening in reality, where the whales were buying the lower end of the channel, and then they were selling at the higher end of the channel. Obviously, they're buying more at the lows and they're selling at the highs. But now at the end of this, we have $19 billion worth of Bitcoin ETFs that are just sitting in these ETFs, and they're not stopping. And that's the difference between accumulation versus distribution. People will just look at this and be like, oh, I remember something like this. That was like the 2021 top. Yeah, but it's completely different. The volume structures are different. The time in the cycles are different. Plus, we're slanting downward, like Will was saying. Like all those untapped highs, like if this was a top, those would not be untapped. We'd have one big up thrust past all those highs. We'd take all that liquidity, and then we'd probably mark the top, and then we'd head down. But the fact that we have all those untapped highs, that's all untapped liquidity. This is a clear, massive accumulation range that eventually will, I think, head to the upside, because like where we are in the cycle and the fact that the whales have been accumulating in this range, which people somehow they can't see the forest for the trees. They're getting caught up in the low time frame price action. Yes, we're dipping. Yes, we're technically making lower highs. But at the same time, what's a bull flag? A bull flag is a downward channel in an uptrend. It's called consolidation, and those break to the upside. So, I mean, Will's 100% right. He straight up cooked, and it's TA 101, like he said.
Louis, I think people are stressed out, man, because their altcoins are getting butchered. While BTC is not really doing much. That's I think that's why. Like, if you ask everyone here in the audience, like, do you hold more alts than BTC? 99% of people that are on CT and watch media, they're mostly exposed to altcoins, and Total 3 looks atrocious. It's been looking atrocious for like the past week or so. And BTC has just been chilling for about 6 months in a giant range, right? So it's like the nominal buyer for these altcoins is what little retail that there's here right now, right? Because even Pepe is getting like absolutely butchered right now, right? Same thing with Mog. And I don't know, for myself, I'm not really expecting anything from alts for like another 4 months, 3.5 months until after the election. And BTC could easily go to all-time high, and Total 3 could remain pretty stagnant. That's usually what happens during the second part of a halving year. Alts typically don't do anything. And the altcoins that trended over the last couple of months, there's a huge chance that they might not even be around, honestly. After DeFi summer, all these trendy alts got absolutely butchered by the new shiny thing, right? Just remember Rollbit last year, right? In Q3, it was the hottest asset, right? Even Caspa, right? After Caspa got listed on Perps in November, October of last year, it got butchered against the rest of the altcoin market. It got butchered against Bitcoin, right? And it was the hottest thing last year.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I agree.
I tend to always just go with what the market's presented me. I think like right here, this was the most obvious flip right here. You had the bull flag form here, and then you had the bear flag start to form back to the high, pressured the highs, then rolled, and then you got the bear flag again, pressured back into the highs, and then rolled, and then you got the straight sideways. There were nominal buyers here, but there was no interest to go higher at all anymore here. And that told you that this thing was going to roll again. And then you had the pressure to the downside, which pushed against pressure to the upside on strength, which forced the market back up. Market then kind of took a stance, double top, ended up being a double bottom. And then from there, you had the lower lows here, basically where everybody said it was over, we're cooked, yada, yada. Price then bounced off that. And now we're forming lower lows again with lower highs, and now everybody's saying it's over again, and we're going to more than likely break out of this range back to the upside. Like these moves where price moves down is always an amazing indicator that price is going to break out. If price was directionally moving like this, I'd be like, yeah, we're probably cooked, guys, because this thing's going to probably go like this, right? In a big way. Yeah. But because we're getting falling price action and not actually, and here's the other thing too, if we were doing this, that's a hard one too, because this one typically will break out after a flagpole, but it could also break down, right? And if it breaks down, then it's going to reverse, and now you're screwed because you missed the top, right? But because price is falling, it's different. Falling price action is always bullish. It's always bullish. You can go through the chart and look for any time price action is fallen, and it's a bullish scenario. You come over to BLX again. What you were talking about, Louis, and I talked about this before too. Before a market end, you see a big spike, right? This is what we call FOMO. This is a FOMO move. And then after you get the big spike, you then start to get the sell-off. Again, you get the big spike, and then you get the double top up here, and then you get the sell-off. You can't reach that high anymore, right? And then you come over here, same thing. You get this big buy up, double triple top, and then they brought it down, brought it back up again, swooped again, and then you get this big sell-off. We have sat here sideways for 6 months. There's been no spike. No spike in the market at all.
Hey, Phil, what are your thoughts on Total 3, brother?
We've had that. I think Total 3 is going to roll.
Yeah, it's all we'll get butchered.
Yeah, I think altcoins are about to get wrecked. But this right here is not the indication of a spike in the market. There's no spike that's occurred yet. None. Zero. This is data. This is not, it's not pride or any weird shit. Like, this is me looking at the numbers and be like, all right, what do we have going on here? No spike has occurred in the market where we are right now. If anybody has different data to present me, I'm all ears. But like, that's my thoughts here. Like, I think people are reading this all wrong, because the reason for bear markets is this. The reason for bear markets is this. Why? No cool down. No cool down, no pullback. Guess what? No cool down, no pullback. You're coming back, right? No cool down, no pullback. You're coming back. No cool down, no pullback. You're coming back. Cool down. We're just tearing up right now. We're tearing up for the bigger move. That's what we're doing at the moment. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but that's what I'm seeing with this.
I don't think we've had our parabolic run up yet. I definitely don't. I mean, I don't think you'll see the parabolic run up occur until we break, because I really don't even feel like we've broken free of we haven't even broken the previous, like we swept it, right? But we haven't broken out above the last bull market high, which is when I think that's when things are going to get really crazy. That's going to be your momentum chase on Bitcoin. After that momentum chase is complete, your first leg up, right? You're going to see altcoins start to catch more meaningful bids, a lot more public interest in crypto will return. I kind of think that 6-figure mark on Bitcoin is, I don't know if that'll get normies necessarily back involved in crypto, because they probably can't afford 100,000 per Bitcoin. But I do think like broader market participants would look at 6-figure Bitcoin and think, oh, so it's not dead. We're back above all-time highs. Maybe crypto, the cycle is back on. And once you have, all you need is a little bit of hope and belief and optimism. And once that returns, crypto is the most reflexive asset class to sentiment and liquidity. So I think that's what you'll see when you can break out of this range. But yeah, I think we need to see that before I'm definitely not calling for a cyclical end. I think that would be foolish, in my opinion, to do so here. But yeah, a lot of volatility can still occur within the range before that happens.
Hey, Tommy, I was at the gym yesterday, and I was speaking to a woman about crypto, and she was like, "Oh, like you're in crypto despite the drama that happened a few years ago," just to like paint a clear picture. And she didn't even know where prices were, or even what altcoins did, right? Like, we are early as a whole. I just think that like people get so attached to their specific ticker, and they think their ticker is gonna like blow up to like the billions and billions and billions. And I think that has to be changed. But like, this market, right? Everything outside of the top 10, right? The nominal buyer for that are people, young people that have no other choice but to go to crypto to reach escape velocity, right? To achieve, financial freedom and all that other stuff, right? That people want to talk about. But there's no better market to achieve great gains, in my opinion, right? And the fact that like actual real retail, right? Like people in the supermarket, people in the gym specifically, they think like after FTX it was completely over, right? And they're not even aware of like what's been happening in the stock market over the last 18 months, where you've had stocks like Nvidia print like a 15x, right? And I think that like, BTC going to 100K is good, but I think like the biggest signal of them all would probably be when Ethereum breaks all-time high, right? That's probably going to be the igniter of when retail is going to be like, oh damn, like we're back. Or even Solana breaking its USD all-time high. I think that's probably like the next one. When you see Sol above $300, that's when like true mania happens, and I think it'll be a lot quicker than people expect, right? Like it'll probably
I
be
saw
like,
I saw a comment, and I'll just make it really quick because I thought it was interesting that the stock market basically exists to impoverish the people who, at least the dynamics of the current stock market exist to impoverish the people who can't afford enough to invest into it or meaningful amounts into it. I thought that was a really interesting take, especially when you consider the growth of monetary supply relative to wages over the last 30 to 40 years. That's entirely anecdotal and random. Something Wabi said made me think about that. But
yeah.
what
Well,
were you going to say, Max?
if we look at like for me, my the stock that I've been looking at, and mind you, I don't even trade the stock market, to be honest. For me, it's been Coinbase stock. That for me is the GME stock of this cycle. And over the last 18 months, Coinbase stock is up like damn near 500%. And outside of that's probably Hood stock, right? But Hood stock is only up like 120% over the last 18 months, right? Like, what else is retail going to buy as far as stocks? It's really not much, right? And if we are moving towards like an economy where everything's going to be digital and everybody's terminally online, the best bet to do that, right, would be, a platform where people gamble, and it's Coinbase and Hood, right?
Yeah, I would arguably say that even though Coinbase is a thing, and I think Coinbase will get a bid, Hood is the better beta there, just because Hood has options on both. It gives you options on crypto, and it gives you options on stocks. So like Hood, to me, I would say Hood is the more likely to come out on top here. But I do think Coinbase has its place as the first exclusive crypto exchange, right? Like if we're talking exclusively crypto. So I think like you have those two nuances, but ultimately, I would lean more towards Hood being the better of the two.
It's funny, man. I was looking at some charts yesterday, and what I noticed is that for the past couple of summers, it's usually like the equity markets that's the place to be, and the crypto markets kind of like take a break, right? Like usually every summer for crypto, there's only a handful of tickers that really go crazy, right? Like this summer, if you weren't holding, right, anything on Solana, right, you didn't really do much, right? But if you were in the equity markets, there was a ton of price action, a ton of things to take advantage of, right? Nvidia was basically up only for half of the summer, right? IWM was going crazy, Coinstock was going crazy, while BTC was just ping ponging in a range, right? And that's I think you're starting to see some of that stuff happening right now, right? Where like IWM is up, Hoodstock and Coinbase is up, whereas the digital asset market, it's not really doing much, man. It's just choppy, right? But I do think that like you'll see some breadth later on this quarter, in my opinion. Probably like one last little rally before the Fed cuts.
What are we looking at here, Louis?
I was just gonna go the S&P, but I wanted to talk about Bitcoin. As far as a range perspective goes, if you just take it as a plain and simple, like high and low of this massive range we've had, as of now, like I see no reason to get bearish down here because this to me is a deviation of a range low, and then we came back inside, we reclaimed the range, and now we're kind of coming down and getting this retest of the range low. And that's how I see this. And until we start losing like 55, 54K area, that's what I'm going to play this as. And I'm looking for longs down here, in this, 55, 56K area. If we do roll over again, I didn't happen to catch it yesterday, but, I've seen this setup play out time and time again where you have these ranges, you get these deviations, you come back into the range, everyone gets bullish, right? And then you start to roll over. And this area, like right here, this rollover area, it is the hardest spot to buy because it's like you got bearish here, you got re-bullish, and now you're rolling over, and now you're like, okay, now it's really over. We're screwed. But in my experience, these back tests or these retests after a reclaim of a range is your best buying opportunity because you are coming in, you are retesting structure, you filled all of this inefficiency. Basically, you have a little bit left on lower time frames, but this is a big impulse up here, right? So you left behind a lot of orders, and that's why we've been seeing. Let's pull up volume here and see what it looks like. This has all been like low volume, like nonsense going on in this last pullback. Like there's no real selling volume here. Like this is selling volume. I'll show you guys. Like this right here, this big red candlestick, that's selling volume on this big impulse we had. What we're seeing here is nothing, compared to what we had. So this is all just kind of nonsense type of, pull back, fill some back liquidity. Spot buyer stepped in down here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they stepped in at range lows here. Because we are in a range until otherwise. We've been playing this range and watching it for a long time. Yes, it's annoying as hell having to talk about this range still. It's a little ridiculous at this point, but at the same time, you got to stick to our levels and utilize them until they're proven that they're not holding up anymore. And as of now, I'm still playing this as a range retest after a reclaim, and usually what you see after that is an impulse higher, and then you get the real move back inside the range and go for that continuation. So. That's how I'm playing this. And same thing as if you want to look at it as a bull flag, you don't even want to look at it as a range. It's kind of the same thing. Let me take the volume off. We're just in a bull flag right here. And I mentioned the untapped highs earlier. You got you got two equal highs here, and then you got another one up here now. Like this is all untapped liquidity up here. And there's no reason why we don't go get that. And this is a TA 101. Like this is a bull flag. This is a consolidation and a continuation pattern. And these are, consolidation patterns because people reaccumulate in here. The whales reaccumulate. They sell, and then they start to reaccumulate. And you get the extremes of emotions in these ranges. Like over the last 6 months, we've had bullish times and we've had bearish times. And that's exactly what these consolidation patterns are designed to do. They're designed to make you super bullish up here, super bearish down here, super bullish up here, super bearish down here, super bullish up here, super bearish down here. You guys get the picture until finally, once we start coming off the lows again, probably what I think is probably the last test that we're going to see of this bull flag low. At this point, you're like, nah, I'm just conditioned that every time we go up, we're going to go back down. And that's exactly what it's designed to do. And that's what it's done to this crypto market. You could just tell. Obviously, like Bobby was saying, everyone's in altcoins. But that shouldn't shift your judgment on why you're here. You're buying altcoins because, people are buying altcoins because they think Bitcoin's going to go up and altcoins are going to follow. But to be bearish on altcoins because they've gotten destroyed and are likely at their lows when Bitcoin is likely finishing up a consolidation pattern, like these altcoins can bounce back way quicker than they came down. Like I know it's been a lot of bleeding, but you'll be surprised. Like, well, the shit that I saw in 2018, 2019, 2020, like the alts that came off the lows, it happens, and it happens quick. So if you're selling down on these lows, you're probably going to be chasing higher. Not to say that, like I've been telling our Discord guys, like now's the time. Like you got to really decide that what you're holding is worth holding. Like, are you holding crap, or are you holding stuff that's going to last the test of time? That's really what these times are made for. And you pick your winners, you pick what's looking strong. But I mean, this is still a consolidation and continuation pattern for Bitcoin. Like I can't look at it any other way until we start maybe losing this red zone or losing this bull flag, channel here. Like I can't see this as anything other than continuation and consolidation right now. It's been a long time, but my key level here, just looking at it a daily time frame, if we can get back above 60.5K, hold this area. I think that's when we finally take our final stab, at this bull flag high here and go for all this untapped liquidity. And I don't think we're just going to go for that. I think we're going to blast through it and go for new all-time highs, in pure Bitcoin fashion that we're used to seeing over the last 10 to 12 years. That's how I'm playing it.
I agree, Louis. I agree.
Probably sometime in October we break out, man. 2020 is was pretty much a ranging year, right? Like the entire year we were just ranging from 7,000 to 10,000, and then in late October we broke out to like 12K plus, right? So maybe this time is kind of the same thing, right? And this year was pretty fruitful, man. Q1 we had that blast off. Q2 we had an echo bubble. We had Solana summer, and now it's just like, all right, time to accumulate and do nothing for like 2 months. Like actually do nothing and have lower time frame chop.
What do you think, Max?
I've been enjoying listening to you guys discuss and debate. Louis, absolute cook session on the charts, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think it's really easy to get bearish after over 5 months of more or less nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like looking at the chart, right? When Bitcoin was at 69K last cycle, before it started to show signs of rejection, right? Like on that first push to 69K, how could you not be bullish, right? From the amount of time that had passed from when Bitcoin went to 64K until when it broke that was, almost 200 days. And everyone's like, oh, we're about to, myself included, I'm like 6 figures, baby. Here we go, right? It's hard not to get overly bullish or bearish at extremes in the market from a time-based perspective and a price-based perspective. When I look at this chart, when I look at Bitcoin, I say to myself, we've been here since March. We have been here since March. And we've been here for, just shy of 200 days, depending on how you want to start the measurement. And is the low in? Is the low not in? I'd like to think that the low is in. I really would. I would like to think that final capitulatory wick is in. Could we backfill a little bit of that wick? It's not impossible, right? But I would like to think that most of the pain from the time that has to go by, and also the structure is behind us and brighter days are ahead. I really would like to think that. Wabi's take on total 3, I'm not so sure that that's a bias that I share, but I will entertain it for sure. It has to be entertained. But when I look at total 3, I view it kind of similarly to like the sentiment around Bitcoin, but worse. Like to say right now to me, altcoins are going to get destroyed. I'm like, what are we talking about? Altcoins have gotten destroyed. You know, total 3 went down, 35% from its high, something like that. This is a pain chart to me. Could it go lower? Like I said, you have to entertain it, right? But I also don't think I don't think it makes a ton of sense to look at this and go, all right, 5 months has gone by, total 3, which is an index of altcoins, Bitcoin and ETH excluded. Total 3 is cooked after 5 months of bleeding and a minus 33% or 35% pullback. Now it's cooked and altcoins are gonna die. I feel like
40.
40%, whatever. Yeah, point B 40. I
Wild.
don't feel as though it's appropriate to have any sort of high time frame bullish bias on crypto and then look at this chart and go, altcoins are about to die. Brothers, altcoins have died.
Yeah.
Like a lot of altcoins are still holding strong. And I talked about that in the Discord this morning. I said the shitty altcoins that are not going to be around have died already. They have 98% pullbacks. The on-chain shitters that went to 4 or 5 million and now they're down to 150K market cap. Those are not coming back most likely. The ones that pumped to 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, a billion and are down 70 to 80%, but they're still holding and holder count is not completely nuking and whales are holding, those are going to come back and pump hard. Alts got destroyed already. So if you want to make the argument, yeah, we go back down and, we retest 52. Okay, we could talk about that. Would alts feel a lot of pain during that? Fuck yeah, they would. Yeah, they would feel more pain. We'd go back to the lows, right? But I just can't look at this after the amount of time that has gone by and the carnage that has happened, because there has been carnage. There's no other way to look. Like a lot of altcoins got carted out and they will never recover. I can't look at that and go, yeah, now after 5 months of a minus 40% bleed on an altcoin index, total 3, including BNB, Sol, it's got all the large caps in there. Now is the time to get bearish. I can't do it. I simply cannot do it. I think you could be cautious locally and be like, yeah, I'll buy it on a retest of the lows. Okay, that's fine. But I believe that the time to bid, if there is such a thing as a time to bid, is coming very, very soon. Like there's no other option. I don't think you're going to range for another 6 months. I think you could range through September, right? Just from a seasonal perspective, or bringing the election into the equation. But after 5 months of this garbage and altcoins total 3 down minus 40%, I don't know. I think most alts got destroyed.
Look at this chart. Look at our precious altcoins. Right?
They've had cyclical resets, most of them.
Yeah.
They've had cyclical resets, and the ones that have had cyclical resets and didn't actually just completely die, those are the ones you want to look. Those are the ones you want to look to accumulate for when Bitcoin eventually does break out of this range to the upside, which is still my belief that this is not a triple top or something like that.
Yeah, this chart's gonna go up so hard. It's not even funny, man. Like
triple tops aren't even bearish. Like if you actually look back, like and if you read a textbook, you'll know that triple tops historically and like statistically like break to the upside. Like they're more of local tops than like absolute tops.
And Louis, I don't know if you agree with this. If we're looking at like textbook patterns, the Bitcoin pattern kind of looks like a giant 4-year cup and handle to me. Honestly,
yeah, it could be a cup and handle. Yeah,
something like that.
Flag. It's everything's kind of coming together, and especially when you see all these like larger time frame patterns come together, and kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like coincide with one another. It's just a recipe for upside. That's what this pattern is. You have a bull flag, or you have a giant cup from that 2021 peak. That's the cup all the way to the like ETF high. And then the last 6 months is your handle. I see people also calling this a massive inverse head and shoulders. I wouldn't subscribe to that. I don't think that's how it works, to be honest. I think that's just too long of a time frame to call this like this is the right shoulder, that's the left shoulder. But I mean, on a zoomed out time frame, I guess. But like you said, all these things look bullish. Like if you look at TA, yes, emotionally and economically, our alts have bled. But regardless, if you take that out of the equation and just look at things objectively, things, especially where we're at in the market cycle, like things are going to get better before they get worse. Like this is not how market tops happen. They happen with peak euphoria, not everyone questioning every other day if it's over or not. Because I'm
Louis,
telling you what, when we get to the top,
everybody with 500 followers on Twitter has called the recession perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that back in 2022 and 2023. I think I have a tweet somewhere. I got to pull it up when I was like,
Never in the history of financial markets has every retail trader on Twitter publicly
Exactly.
broadcasting their positions
literally-
accurately called the recession.
yeah, I was
Until
like, it's
now.
so funny how this
Now
is
it's
the most
happened.
predicted recession. And I was saying
Every-
this in like 2022, 2023. I was like, this is the most predicted recession ever. Like,
Bro,
that makes no sense. Those people don't
Everybody's
call it
fucking
recession.
Stanley Druckenmiller, man. Everybody's Warren Buffett, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody, everybody's ahead. Everybody's George Soros, you know. Everybody's in front of it, man. Everybody's in front of it. Every CT trader showing me, inverted yield curve charts. Unemployment curving up while SPX, rolls over. Everybody's on top of it this time. Like the recession is out of the bag,
What's
That's
the
it.
target on that cup and handle, Tuck?
High, Louis.
Like high 200s.
Very, very high. 290, 300.
So, I mean, that's like pie in the sky. Like everything goes.
Yeah,
amazing,
yeah.
I subscribe to maybe like high hundreds. If you do like
here's the thing about targets, right? Like I have fun trying to prospect targets because you could always you could draw fibs on it and it's fun to see how price interacts with them, right? Here's the deal, is like 99 out of 100, 99.9 out of 100 people are not going to call the top and call the bottom, including us. It's an extremely difficult thing to do, right? You can get close, right? I think if you buy within 20% of a bottom, high time frame, and you sell within 20% of a top, you're doing really, really well. All right. You're doing really, really well. I think the best thing to do is be on the right side of the trend and submit to the market. And wherever the top is, when you get a break of structure and a complacency shoulder, then you sell within 20% of that high, right? Because think about it. Like if you were looking at the NVIDIA chart all year and you were like, okay, I'm in NVIDIA from the lows and I'm going to sell. There would have been a lot of you selling prematurely when if you just submitted to the market and stayed long as hell until there was a confirmed high time frame break of trend, which we have not had yet. You would have missed out on hundreds of percent, like it's simple. Like you stay super, super long risk assets until you get a clear weekly break of trend,
right,
and then a distributive complacency shoulder.
Yep.
So
like look at the weekly chart on Bitcoin.
And it gets scarier the higher we go, right? Because then it's like the dip and break of structure has to be more aggressive to break trend, right? But like if you had initially sold NVIDIA here, at like $48, I know we had a split or whatever, but $48 because we were going to fill that gap and it was looking like a distribution, but we didn't actually have a high time frame break of structure, you would have missed that, right? Like you stay long until there's a high time frame break of structure.
Like that range probably drove people crazy.
Yeah.
Like that range is probably like, oh, we're back. Oh, it's over. Oh, we're back. Oh, it's over. You know what? I'm sick of this. Let me just sell them and profit. And then bang, you get the majority of the gains happen after those giant consolidation patterns.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying before, like that's what they're made to do. Like these consolidation patterns are made to shake and break you, literally. Before continuing and continuing on with the market trend. And the trend right now is up. Like look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the chart and look at the top right of the chart. Ask a 5-year-old which way they think this chart's going to keep going. They're going to say it's going up because that's the trend. We have not lost trend.
No, we haven't. And that's the whole point, right? Is like, Tucker, do me one favor while I'm yapping. Do a time measurement. How long was NVIDIA in that box compared to Bitcoin? Study that. But you're 100% right, Louis. Like you're 100% right, brother. It's just, I think the biggest Achilles heel that people, myself included, because of what we do for work here at BB, is to stare at the market through a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And rather than like zooming out, okay, so my trading strategy is really sort of malleable based on like what I believe the conditions are. When we're in the bear market, I'm taking positions every single day, right? I'm looking for little plays. I'm actively trading. Like my style changes a lot depending on market conditions. And when I believe we're in a high time frame uptrend and the field is tilted so greatly in my favor that this trend is high time frame up, I don't believe that as a trader I am personally skilled enough to outperform a crypto bull market when we're in one, even if it means having to hold through garbage like what Nvidia did right here or what Bitcoin's doing right now. I'm not gonna 5x my portfolio or 4x my portfolio by being, an active market participant and scalper right now. I'm pretty sure I could make 50 or 60% on an account over 6 months, like actively scalping. I've done that before. But when I believe we're in a bull market, like I sit on my hands and I monitor the high time frame trend.
Yes, Max. Yes. I couldn't have said it any better. I'm in the same camp, right? Why would I scalp around? Like, look, it's fine. And I've thought about doing this, and I probably will do this soon to like have a little scalp account, right? That's, more active and whatnot. But like, I cannot justify selling spot to rebuy lower or even like, I don't know, man. It's not worth it. It's simply not worth even missing a few percent of what's to come, right? And this is somewhat interesting, right? Nvidia spent 222 days in that range, and then I looked at where we are, 168 days so far. Well,
So we got time
oddly
to go.
enough, Oddly enough, 158 days in was the last low for Nvidia, so that's somewhat interesting. But 222 days gives us October 9th. CZ gets out September 29th. What are we talking about again? Right, Q4. Here we go, type of thing.
4.
Um,
That's what the 4 was. Q4.
4.
Hey, Haggard, is that the Rolex that you're wearing, brother?
Yeah, this was a top signal.
Yeah, you should probably take that off, man, because we're gonna unless you actually want to be in this chop zone for another 3 months.
I wear it every single day, Wabi.
Oh
Every
man, all
single
right.
day.
No extreme bullish price action for another 3 months, man. As long
No,
as you
Q4, Q4, Wabi. I'm telling you right now.
Q4 in
Trust
November.
in the
man.
charts, Wabi. Trust in the charts and CZ.
I mean, even if that's the case, like we could still, this could be the low, and then like the rest of like the next, like 40 to 60 days can just be us heading back to range highs and then consolidating at range highs. And if that happens on Bitcoin, guess what's going to happen to altcoins? They're going to rip to the upside. Like from the lows, like they're literally in the graveyard. So like from the lows, the right alts, the strong alts, the ones that are actually worth holding will do great numbers. And you'll be sitting there. Wait, I thought we were going lower. I sold everything. Like, what's going to happen? And now I got to chase. And then like now I got to buy riskier stuff and smaller market cap stuff just to make up for my losses. And then it's just a vicious cycle of you just tearing yourself up. And me, Max, and Tucker say this because we've been here. We've seen the cycles before. And you get a lot of the same feelings and a lot of the same type of sentiment. And we know it's worth just to hold it because we've held through these market cycles. And I've said this before, and I always say when we get these big cascade moves down, I've always said I've been here since 2018, and I've had the best results have been for me like during these downtimes, during a bull market cycle, not during the bear market. Like, during the bear market, like you got to sell when you got to sell, and that's that. But we're still in the middle of a market cycle. But I've found the most success just doing nothing. Just hold through your positions, hold through the downturns, because when those upturns come back, they come back quick and things bounce and go faster and higher than you could believe in this market. And that's what we're here for. So, and we say that from experience, not just because we want you guys to stick around. Like, I mean, it's nice to have you guys here. We love doing the show, but we make our money through investing, and that's what we've learned from experience.
Tucker, I figure I would pull this up for you. I saw what you were working on there.
You got to move that final bear trap over one, Max. You got to move. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, it's not going to be identical, but like those 3 lows now, right? Like it almost looks better now. And it's the spirit, right? It's the spirit of the move. It's the spirit of the pump range pump, right? Like that's all we're talking about here.
Correct.
There
I
it
mean,
is.
this is happening, whether you like it or not.
I mean,
I like the
somebody
Nasdaq
tell me
back
what we're
there.
talking about, please.
The
I mean,
Nasdaq's
this
moving
is brutal, but this is where we're at, you know? And in my opinion, so, okay, let's zoom in for a second on NVIDIA. This was like the gap that needed to get filled, right? Like I remember on Market Check, like we could go back and watch them. When this gap up happened, we were like, oh man, like that goes down quite a bit. Are we going to fill that gap? I view Bitcoin having something similar as this whole region right here as a thin inefficiency that like all the ICT boys want filled. And I get it. I'm a perfectionist in one regard as well. Like I love when the chart is just like efficient and it's clean. And you get that perfect fill, right? Like that would make me really happy from a technical perspective to just like see that filled. My portfolio wouldn't like it, right? But I understand that desire. I fully do. But I feel like that's the same region on Bitcoin. Like that was a thin move. Very, very little volume there. Here, let me even draw a volume profile and show you.
No volume.
There's none. There's
Yeah.
nothing here. There's a huge gap. Look, I'll make this thicker so you can even see it.
and it's obvious market structure. Demand there.
Look at this. There's no volume right there. Do you see that? Can you guys see that, or is it too small? That's a huge void, right? That is the equivalent, because Bitcoin doesn't have gap ups like stocks do, because obviously it trades 24/7. But like that's your equivalent of this right here. Okay. That's your equivalent. What the heck is this? No. Give me more information than that. Volume profile. I will not allow you to make ugly boxes like that. Yeah, this is your equivalent. See that gap right here? That's the equivalent of this void on Bitcoin right here. And I just kind of get the feeling you're not going to get that perfect fill from this perfect distribution that everybody wants, just like you didn't with NVIDIA.
No, you're not. You're not. And that's what happens every bull market, right? They're not efficient. And that's why you have a bear market. Most likely you come back and get them, right? A lot of the time, you know, like
Bears always get greedy, just like bulls get greedy at the top. Bears get greedy at the bottom. It's very simple. Like a lot of us should have sold 70K, but a lot of us were like, oh, we're going to get to 100K. Everyone's saying 100K. We're going to get there. Nope. 70K was the top.
hey man, I thought 100K. Pomp was telling me 100K. I was in the 100K club, bro.
Did you buy a mattress as well?
No.
Do you know what I'm referring to?
Pomp's what's
He
it
started
called?
doing like mattress ads or
Yeah,
something.
that was
Market.
yeah.
I was just like, dude, I don't care that you're wrong. Like, it's tough to trade. Like, I'm with you. Like, no one's right all the time, but don't go start advertising mattresses. Just be like, yeah, tough market.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the grindstone and figure it out. You know,
Yeah.
Don't go sell mattresses.
It was over for him.
Bitcoin pizza was the top.
That's full on capitulating, but that's like capitulating your reputation, man. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that's.
I'm like, bro, you don't even need the money. I know you're fine. Like,
he's made some sick investments.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I just feel like he just did a couple like, I don't know, like when times got tough, I feel like he just kind of
flaked.
He just kind of flaked a little bit, you know. Like he sold everyone 100K hats, and then like, just kind of.
And then he removed his laser eyes and just started talking about like equities on CNBC.
Like I feel like he should have just really dove in and been like, damn, like. Inflation ramped up quicker than I thought. Bear market hit earlier than I thought. Like, I'm gonna continue to provide analysis. You know, let's figure it out. But I don't know. Mattresses, I guess.
Mattresses.
I liked him last cycle, man. Like, I honestly liked him. I was like, all right, yeah, he seems like a cool dude. But
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from him. He was putting out alpha, especially like 2018, 2019, 2020. He's like at the lows. I learned
Yeah.
a lot from him.
and he's a good yapper too. Like he's clearly a
Great
smart
speaker.
guy.
Yeah, great
It's like
Mhm.
he started selling mattresses. Like, I would have. You know, what would have been funny for him to do? Like he sold 100K Bitcoin hats. When we started nuking, he should have started selling 10K Bitcoin hats. To be like, we're not going to hit my target. Don't worry, guys. Like
That would
there
have
were
been
such
funny.
more creative ways to handle that than selling mattresses. But
Yeah.
whatever.
So Wabi, are you sidelined right now? If you're that bearish on hold,
Well,
Sideline.
Louis, you're funny guy.
I
man.
want to make things very, very clear. All right.
please.
When I say
please.
that, like, alts are gonna get
Sideline and coping.
We're just talking about mattresses, and then Louis just goes,
Yeah.
"So Wabi."
Yeah. First, first and foremost, right? Like, I'll say this. Most of my capital is in this market, right? But I'm not deploying what stable coins I have until I'm going into Q4, right? Like after that unemployment read, like the next day, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cut pretty much every shitter I have on Sol, except Retardio, and I'm gonna sell half of my Pepe and Mog stack, and I pretty much entered right at these levels. Now that Pepe and Mog are pretty much filling in those wicks that like that low that we hit when Japan was imploding, right? Pepe and Mog are
Japan
basically
liquidated
10%.
itself.
Wait, Wabi, why didn't you sell Retardio?
Because I think that thing is going to be like the Mog on Sol. Like not selling that. I'm okay. Like I just needed some liquidity, bro, to buy blood. And most alts have now retraced, and I think their volatility is going to die off, just as what happens in every single second half of Q3. Like I'm not going to FOMO because some like altcoin is down 80-85%, and I don't want to miss out. Like dude, what if you bought any of the on-chain stuff that was trending in 2023 and 2022 and 2021? Like you got destroyed. I feel zero FOMO. Like I'm probably never going to be 100% deployed ever again. Like I'm comfortable with what I have in this market. And like my job is to preserve the gains that were achieved this year, right? Like this whole notion of I have to be 100% all in, like like we're going to be higher, like BTC is only ranging, like dude, take a look at total 3. It's disgusting. And the more total 3 can range, your altcoin of choice could actually make like new year to date lows. That's the thing, right? And so I'd rather deploy right what stables I have left once total 3 starts trending upwards. You can call me a bear, you can call me a coper, you can call me a sideliner. I call it preserving my capital and like not just being up only.
Cool.
I was in that I was in that camp, brother. I was in that camp, and I'm gonna be careful here, man. When CZ gets out of jail and these centralized exchange altcoins starts ripping, I'll be a menace and start my rotations, just as I did in Q4.
But Wabi, if you think Q4 is going to be huge, right? And you think
But what
CZ,
altcoin am I gonna
like,
buy?
why would you not just shove and turn off your brain?
Why not shove, brother? Like again. What else should I buy? What altcoin should I buy? Tell
You
me.
should be buying bread.
It would be easier to tell you which altcoins not to buy. Bro.
Yeah.
List is shorter.
I agree on that. I agree. Dude, what do you mean, Cope sideliner? Like I literally have like 70% of my net worth in this industry, dude. Like what? Like, oh, so you can't. So what do you buy the dip with? Like, all right, I'm 100% deployed. Oh, crypto dipped 30%. Oh boy, it's time to buy the blood. With what money? Like with what money? What do you mean?
No, you just eat the drawdown like a man.
Eat the drawdown like a man. No,
You
sir.
tell everyone else to buy the dip.
Yeah.
No, sir. No. Not gonna happen. Not going to happen.
Buy the dip, guys. Buy the dip. I don't got money to buy it, but buy it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Everybody's waiting for somebody else to buy the dip.
Yeah.
like I mean, what can you do, right? Sell your altcoin that's down like 60% and then sell it for ETH and borrow against it on Aave. There's only so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is a very effective strategy that I employ personally.
Oh man. Well, again, dude, I'm gonna left curve it just like I did like after September last year. And
Bobby,
just
what do you
wait.
think about this chart, brother? Just
see.
take a look at the chart for me, please.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement that regardless of who wins, whether it's Kamala, whether it's Trump, like I honestly think next year Q1 is going to be absolutely massive. Honestly, like regardless if you're a
Do you think we can have a good Q4?
I do. I think it's going to
You
be
do?
very, very bullish, like extremely bullish, to be honest.
So you're
Like,
thinking that Q4 will be maybe a precursor into a really bullish Q1?
Yeah, I think we're repeating 2023 all over again. Honestly, right? Like
not just 2020. I mean, we're repeating the previous two cycles, 2017, 2021. Like, look at this chart, man. Like, this is
so. The only thing that I'll have to add is that in 2020 in Q4, as we were breaking out, altcoins didn't really do much, right? Like your best performers were still flatlined, right? Your Rune, your Luna, Solana was still in a downtrend after BTC broke 12K. AVAX wasn't even out yet. Cardano wasn't doing anything. Matic was still in a downtrend. So I think like I simply think that alts are probably like, I think Total 3 for the most part is probably in a bottoming out process. Now it's just, a kill off and volatility that I think is going to happen. And I think, we'll start to curve upwards, as BTC breaks out of the range, honestly, man. But Q4, maybe in December, altcoins start going crazy. That's like my gut feeling, right? But of course, if Trump is going to be, the winner and all that stuff, and this is 2016, right? Like if this is truly 2016, right? And even the prediction markets are showing, similar like betting price action, right? Then alts should start going crazy in like November, December ish, right? That's when Ethereum started to pop back up in 2016 after it hit that low of $5. And then it did like, that 3x out of nowhere and started going crazy after that, right? So I hope this is more like 2016 and not like 2020, right? Because if this is, if we do replicate 2020, then altcoins are basically not going to be doing anything for another, 4.5 months, right? But if this is 2016, then, Total 3 should start to cover upwards, going into that post-election phase, right? I'm in the camp of both, right? Like, I simply think it's just going to be like a grind higher. Same price action we've seen year to date, right? Yeah, that's those are my general feelings, and I think when we get to that time period where we're 6 months after the halving, I think Bitcoin is probably going to be above range highs, right? I think like we'll be at 72, 73 and just ping pong in a tight range. Like I think right before CZ gets out, honestly, like that's probably your last time to bid all coins.
Do you really think that's going to be an event, though? Is that really going to be an event?
I do. I left curve like everything.
I think CZ's going to get out of jail, and we're literally going to just start mooning.
Yep.
Like whether he's actually hitting buttons or not, I think we're just going to start bidding.
Mm-hmm.
And he might actually start hitting buttons. He might start rage bidding the entire market. He wants like, I mean,
He's been locked up for too long.
CZ is like,
he knows a guy.
He's a Giga Chad, man. There's no other way to put it, man. Like CZ's the final boss.
When is that again?
September 29th, I think, or 26th.
Market.
End of September.
CZ is an absolute Giga Chad, man. And also, I think he's probably worth $100 billion, even with prices down like they are right now. Like, CZ's going to be the first trillionaire, man. Let's go.
Yeah. CZ's going to be bidding. There's no way around it.
CZ knows a guy who knows a guy when it comes to market
CZ
making.
is the guy, Wabi.
Yeah, he is the guy that knows the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you know that you're like, I know a guy, and you know CZ. And then you're like, hey, CZ, I took a bad trade, man. Like, could you send the chart the other way? And then he does it because you know a guy.
Yeah.
He can, dude. He's the puppet master. Like, he can move any coin anywhere he wants. Any single coin, it doesn't matter. Any coin, including Bitcoin. You could literally, like, if CZ wanted to, he could send Bitcoin to 100K tomorrow if he was out of jail. I don't know exactly what his conditions are, but
All right, guys. Last thing. I really think open interest looks super bullish here. I really do. And I know it's like a meme and open interest is supposed to be price agnostic, but study when open interest goes up, right?
dude,
It
throw
just-
funding on there too for me, Tucker. Just
It
on the
just-
very bottom.
it is what it is.
Throw funding on the bottom. No, keep that up. That was good. Command Z that. Keep all that up.
If we can get back
Yeah,
above
now throw
50,
funding up.
8, we're gonna.
Dude, look at just Binance funding. So click on aggregated funding. So go to your fund. Yeah,
You
click
want
there
just
settings.
Binance?
No, that's fine. You could do that, and you can just click the ones that you want.
I see. I gotcha.
So just open the settings on that and remove all of them except for Binance, because that's the one that really matters in my opinion.
People are openly interested.
Correct.
Someone said. Yeah.
And now go to your settings again for aggregated open interest there. Yeah. And do style and put your moving average on. And then make it like visible. Yeah, brother, we are getting into that negative funding region. And it will not last.
We're actually pumping, so
Boys, we're pumping.
Oh
No,
man.
I'm saying when open interest is bullish, like
Okay, all right. We're up $500.
Whatever the implications are, whether that's people need to get rinsed or not. Whenever this is bullish, we go up. And I mean, I'm just looking at like this is bullish to me. I think this goes higher. So, boys, we're pumping.
It's the meme of that 1% green candle, and the guy's like,
It's literally that.
all right, guys, we're going to call it here. It's been a good show. Guys, thanks so much for being here. This was Market Check brought to you by BB. Reminder, we are live Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern time. Again, Monday through Friday. Before you guys go, please consider doing us a solid. Not only hit that like button, but also subscribe to the channel if you are new here, guys. We're growing so quickly, and it is all thanks to you guys and your consistent support of what we are building here at BB. Last but not least, please consider checking out the links in the description below. The first link will take you to our website where you can sign up for our Discord. If you want a more intimate behind the curtains look at how all of us as a team and a collective are navigating these markets, we share positions, TA, things that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X. Additionally, what you could expect is 2 hours per day of private live voice calls with me and the entire BB team and community. Additionally, as a bonus, within the next 7 to 10 days, hold me to it, you are going to get free access included in your existing Discord membership to our new flagship product called the BB Terminal, guys. It's got portfolio tracking, derivatives data, heat map, high time frame DCA indicators, spaghetti charts, literally everything that you could ever want or need to use to succeed in these markets, all compiled into one Swiss Army knife of a website. Last but not least, guys, check out the second link in the description below. That will take you to our website where you can sign up for the BB Academy. If you want to speed run your educational journey towards understanding these markets, we have 2 available courses. One is 100% free. I just finished it, and the other one is paid. They cover different things. The free one that I just made answers the most popular and common question that I get all the time. Max, how do you make your charts look so good? Max, how do you make your charts look like that? So I made a free course. It's probably about an hour to an hour and a half, totally free. All you got to do is just click on it. I think you put in your email, maybe. You just make a BB account. You don't have to pay anything. Totally free, guys. Free BB Academy course on if you are new to TradingView or if you use TradingView, but you want to take your strategies to the next level and make your charts look sexy. Check that out. Free BB Academy course. But if you want to speed run your educational journey towards actually navigating these markets from a fundamental and a technical perspective, check out the paid BB Academy course. There's a lot of guys out there teaching TA and FA, some really good, some really bad. We teach a lot of it for free here on Market Check, and then of course the videos that I make. But if you want to really grab these markets by the horns, make sure you're learning the right things. Me and the entire BB team compiled over 6 months meticulously the most effective strategies that we use on a day-to-day basis to navigate these markets and successfully extract profits over a higher time period. So guys, check that out, guys. Here we go. Look, halfway through the academy. It's amazing. Thank you, Uriah. Another satisfied customer. Thrilled that you like it. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to check out that free video.
Nah, Louis, I'm not. No, it's not free for you.
It's not for you, Louis.
I'm just kidding. Louis, you check it out. It's free too. You have a BB account. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for being here. Please consider liking the video and also subscribing before you go. And additionally, join us somewhere, right? Check out the links below. Oh, one more thing. We are now officially an SEC registered fund. BB Wealth Management. You can check out the Twitter below. It'll take you there where you can find a contact form if you want to set a meeting up with us to discuss what that would look like. If you are an accredited investor and you are interested in having us actually manage capital for you, we are now legally allowed to do that. We have been successfully doing it for a few months now. And I am proud to say that we actually made money on that drop thanks to some fancy footwork by Mr. Tommy himself, who's not here to smile at my compliment. But yeah, guys, we were all over that one. So if you want us to actually manage your capital for you, we can do that. Check out the Twitter below. That will take you to BB Wealth Management. Fill out a contact form and we will set up a meeting with you. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Please like and subscribe. Check out all of the links below. That was a mouthful. And we will see you guys next week. It's Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.
Peace.